Hey boys and girls, I hope everyone's doing great. I wanted to start reading a book to you every week that goes with our theme of the week. And since we're talking about springtime and animal life cycles, I wanted to go with one of my favorite books called Farfallina and Marcel. And it's by the author Holly Keller. And that title is Farfallina and Marcel. Look at that fancy symbol you can use to write sight word and. A lot of authors do that to be creative. So this book is going to be about a caterpillar, and it looks like a type of duck. Farfallina and Marcel, there's our title page. Let's look at some of the clues from the illustrator. Looks like we have some spring flowers, and look, we even have one of those cool little things, a butterfly. We love butterflies, and you know how much I love butterflies. Our dedication pages for John and Josie. Oh, and look, a bird has changed. Something different, a different bird. The rain fell all morning. It splattered on the pond and splashed on Farfallina's leaf. She found a dry spot and ate it. So her name's Farfallina. She's eating that leaf. There's spring weather. "Hey," said a little voice, "you're eating my umbrella." Farfallina peered over the edge. A small gray bird was huddled underneath. Oh, look, there's that gray bird. And our setting looks like it's expanded out a little bit more in the picture. Farfallina liked his soft feathers and his gentle eyes. "I'm Farfallina," she said, and she slid down to the ground. "My name is Marcel," said the bird. He liked Farfallina's smile and her pretty colors. So this is Marcel, and this is Farfallina. It's the first time they're meeting, so they're giving each other a greeting. Notice our weather is still raindrops. Reminds me of our raindrop poem we did just a couple weeks ago before we had got out of school. The rain turned to drizzle, and Farfallina wanted to play. "I'll hide and you find me," she said. Marcel agreed. Farfallina hid under a fern close to the ground because she knew that Marcel couldn't climb. So she come down, and now she's down on the ground. Notice in the word play, we have the pull sound. That PL is a blend. So if you want to make the pull sound, PL. "Now I'll hide," said Marcel when he found her. And he hid right behind the tree because he knew that Farfallina moved slowly. So look, they're playing hide and seek. I hope you've been outside enjoying nature as well. And look, we have another blend word, slowly, soul. SL says soul. "I can take you for a ride on the pond," said Marcel. Farfallina inched her way up to Marcel's back. "You tickle," said Marcel, and he slipped into the water. Look, she's going on a ride on Marcel's back. Farfallina giggled. "There's so much to see," she said. I think she might be enjoying that ride on Marcel's back on the pond. Oh, do you see any unique plants? Plants that you might not see out in the grass. Oh, you're right, exactly. Those are called lily pads. See those? They're called lily pads. Sometimes they have flowers that bloom on them. Yeah. And it's like a floating plant. It floats to the top and then it has roots that gather down to the bottom. That's right. And look at this lovely amphibian enjoying this lily pad. You're right, that's a frog. Exactly. And an amphibian is an animal that starts out in the water and then eventually goes onto the land. So he's unique. He changes too, kind of like Marcel and Farfallina. and the frog. They all go through life cycle changes. Farfallina and Marcel played together every day. They liked the same games and they liked each other. But one day Farfallina was not herself. "I'm not sick," she said, or she told Marcel. "Just a little uncomfortable. I need to climb up on a branch and rest for a while." "I'll wait for you," Marcel called. As Farfallina made her way up the tree, Marcel watched until Farfallina was completely out of sight. Then he settled himself in the grass and waited. So she starts going up the tree trunk. She just knows something's changing. Something different is happening. There's Marcel watching her go up. Notice how our weather has changed in this picture. Exactly, it's not raining anymore. Right. So now it's more of like a cool, mild spring weather. Kind of like the weather we've been having lately. Night came and then morning, but Farfallina didn't come down. Marcel called to her, but she didn't answer. He was very worried and terribly lonely. Exactly. Look how the setting has changed again. The time of the day has changed from the daytime into the nighttime. Exactly. Weeks went by, and the afternoons grew longer and warmer, and Marcel went to the pond. He was growing, and when he looked at his reflection in the water, he hardly recognized himself. So he's changed as well. We don't know where Farfallina went. It's a mystery. We're at the pickle of the problem, right? The pickle of the story, which is the problem. I know. I wonder what's going to happen next. I want you to think for a minute, close your eyes, and make a prediction about what you think is happening to Farfallina. Why is she missing? And why is Marcel changing as well? See how his colors have changed? All right, let's go to the next one. Hope your prediction's in your mind. He went back to the tree every day to look for Farfallina, but she was never there. And after a while, he gave up. He stayed dedicated as long as he could, and then he moved on. At the top of the tree, Farfallina was snuggled in a blanket of glossy silk. She was growing too. A blanket of glossy silk. Well, what could that be? Let's look at the picture. Oh, I think that's something you might have seen before. We've talked about it before with one of Miss Myers' favorite books. Do you know what that's called? Exactly. It's a chrysalis. Yeah, or it could be a cocoon. Let's see. It depends on what kind of creature might emerge from that cocoon or chrysalis. Oh, get back in focus. The sky was blue and clear, and the morning, she was ready to come out and open her beautiful new wings. She's coming out of her chrysalis. Wings? What kind of wings could she be having? Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, I see antennas on her as well. Look how she's coming out. It's almost like she's blooming in a flower. She had no idea how long she had been up in the tree, and she floated down to find Marcel. "I'll just wait," said Farfallina when she didn't see him, and she sat on a flower. So she waited. Look at her wings now. Farfallina has become something so special. She transformed. She went through metamorphosis. Exactly. Remember when we talked about how a superhero changes from his clothes to his cool outfit? That's just like a caterpillar to a butterfly. Metamorphosis. Exactly. Oh, look, there's one of those words again. Floated. full. F-L says full. Oh, and flower, full. F-L, flower. Night came and then morning, but Marcel wasn't there. Farfallina was tired and confused. She fluttered around a bit and went to the pond. So look, she's flying around trying to find Marcel, her best friend. I wonder if he knows to look for a butterfly instead of a caterpillar. Good observation. Oh, look, another word. Fluttered. Full. F-L. The pond was glassy smooth, except for the ripples made by a large, handsome goose. Goose, who was swimming in solitary circles. Farfallina shivered with disappointment. This wasn't the duck that she had met. It didn't look like the duck she met. It's just a big goose out on the pond. Hey, look, we got more of those blend words. Glassy, gull, G-L. Look at that fancy G the computer makes. That's right, a type G looks different than what we write. Well, I wonder who that goose could truly be. I think I remember, do you? She went to the pond every day to look for the small gray bird named Marcel, but he never came. One morning, the goose stopped his silent rounds and spoke to her. "You must like it here," he said. Farfallina fluttered a bit. "I've been waiting for a friend," she said sadly. "But I don't think he'll come." I wonder if he's wondering who she could be, and if she's wondering who he could be. Look, there's those lily pads. See those lily pads? Yeah. Oh, and there's another blend word. Fluttered. Full. Lots of blends with L today. Marcel liked her smile and her brilliant colors. "I know how you feel," he said. "I lost a friend too. She just vanished into thin air." Farfallina liked his sleek feathers and his gentle eyes. Yeah, she noticed his sleek feathers and his gentle eyes. Maybe they remind him of her friend Marcel. I wonder if she's figured it out yet. Oh, look, sleek, soul, S-L. "A ride around the pond might cheer you up," Marcel said. Farfallina thought it would, and she settled herself on Marcel's back. On whose back? Marcel's back. But she doesn't know that that's Marcel. "It's funny," Marcel said, "but I feel as though I've known you a long time." "I was just thinking the same thing," said Farfallina. "My name is Farfallina. What's yours?" Oh my gosh. Marcel stopped suddenly. He beat the water with his strong wings. Then he swam round and round and round. "It's me, Farfallina," he shouted. "It's me, Marcel. Is that really you?" "It is," Farfallina shouted back. They looked at each other and laughed. Look how excited Marcel is. And they're both smiling. They both recognize each other. By evening, they had explained everything, and they fell asleep smiling at the stars. Look how the setting, the time of day has changed. And look, they both fell asleep under the stars, near the pond, with the lily pads. Farfallina and Marcel spent the rest of the summer playing just as they had before. Marcel was careful not to fly too fast because he knew that Farfallina couldn't keep up. Farfallina didn't hide in the flowers because she knew that Marcel would never find her. Look how they're helping each other out. That's what friends do. And when the leaves on the trees around the pond turned red and gold, they decided to go south. Huh. Look, the season has changed. We went from spring to summer. Oh, you're right. This is fall or autumn. And they both decided to fly where? South. So they traveled. And they went together. Wasn't that a wonderful story? I hope you're having a great time staying with your family and being together, just like Marcel and Farfallina. Now, we're going through a lot of changes too right now, boys and girls, but I promise you, once these changes are all over, we're going to be back together and right back to normal. And I love every one of you, and I hope you enjoyed this book, Farfallina and Marcel. Author and illustrator, Holly Keller. Thank you. Miss you guys. Love y'all.